Alright, first and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory unto Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Kakotash. That was unto the apostles and the elders that greatness will not surely do well. The peace and blessings unto the Akim that pushed us with day in and day out. This is Matina from Children at Campus. Coming to the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, the Lord, to do our next video to bring out edification, to the flock. And this video here gonna be a quick little video here. That's showing you that what we saying all the time, it happening these days. That sounds like. All that we've been saying all along, it's starting to happen these days. And when I look at it, it sounds like it. Yeah, when I look at it, it had from much not an outside perspective, or third person's perspective, you would say, something about these men. Everything they're saying, it's starting to come to pass. So you'll find something strange, something unusual, or something rather not strange, but rather special about what we've been teaching, rather than those other groups. And they get down to the facts, you will realize that we've been speaking the truth all along, although it sounded harsh, although it sounded rough, although it sounded disrespectful. It was the truth, in fact. And a lot of things can sort of happen, like these women being brought back down to that state that they originally was, that state being submissive to the husband, going back to that feminine role, that feminine part they play in the house, rather than the dominant role that they play now. One of the main reasons for that is because prophecy is being fulfilled. Prophecy is that think of how much jobs in the streets, as the scripture say. You think it didn't have no work in Egypt. And for example, this woman here, the title of the article is "Preschool Teacher Takes Immense Financial Hits." Since the pandemic started, it have the beginning of online classes, but for preschoolers, it wouldn't work as much as adults or older children. So basically she basically lost her job, and then she saying that for the years that she's a single mother at 3. That is breaking it down so I wouldn't have to read through the whole thing. She's a single mother at 3, and she for most of the she changed life. She was a single mother and she was independent, and she didn't feel the need to rely on anyone. But now she relying on her sister, and she getting just basically $600 a month from her sister, which she could barely provide for her own self. Just basic hygienic products, So that is the state of the most I bringing these women back to a state of order, back to a state of humility, back to a state of respect for their husband. Where they go and realize that they need a man. Not that they want a man, but they need a man. Understand? Let's let me get this word humility first. Humility. Because let me just read it first. It says freedom from pride or arrogance, the quality or state of being humble, It says demureness, down to earthness, lowliness, meekness, modesty. And these women lack modesty. It means lowliness, to be low. It means to basically be regarded as nothing. It says, I think in the online etymology, if you go into the word humility, it will go back to the word humiliate. So you have to gain humility. You ought to be humiliated. And that is what we're going through by preaching. You understand? To humiliate, it says to reduce someone to a lower position in one's own eyes or others' eyes, to make someone ashamed or embarrassed or embarrassed. So you see, the Most High brings you down to a lower position in your own eyes, because she was up there independent, trying to assume the role of a man. But the Most High reduced her position, or reduce her to a lower position in her own eyes, so that she would realize that she's just a woman and she needs to rely on someone. And that is one of the main reasons of this, to bring back these women back to how they were. And it come from the same root, I believe, as humility, which means low. This is Isaiah 2. Verse 11, it says, the lofty looks of man shall be humble, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day. The lofty looks of man shall be humble, arrogance, because the Most High gonna bring you to a state where you realize that you ain't shit. When you realize that you ain't shit, you could only do one thing, but only one thing, that is to call upon the Lord. And only few men the Lord gonna answer when they call upon him, because they were calling upon him all along, and not just in the time of trouble. It says, and Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day, for the day of Yahweh of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. He shall be humbled. Understand? So you would read this to Jake, or you would read this to average idiots, because let's say Jake, because you have idiots, it have Edomites just as bad or worse than Jake when it comes to knowing things. The common knowledge, I should say. And they would say that, hey, it had good pride and it had bad pride. And they say this is bad pride, but it had good pride, to be proud of yourself, to know that is exactly what the Most High is against. You being proud of yourself, because in your own eyes you achieve something. When you basically achieve nothing, the Most High just just bless you with something, but you in your own eyes you think, hey, you're high and mighty because you achieve something. You have a high position in your workplace, or you have a higher salary than your man, or you're capable of doing certain things. No. It says, for the day of Yahweh of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and all these mighty men, all these soldiers, all these police, all these are so-called criminals that believe that once they have a gun in their hand, nothing can stop them. Hey, the day of the Lord is against you. And upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. So the Most High can bring you all down to that level where you're gonna be laughed at. Just imagine you playing, you're high and mighty, you can't mash ants, and then next minute, you're eating your children. You understand? And that's another prophecy as well. investigate it really quick in Lamentations. It's two. Yes, no. It's not two. It's four. 4 verse start of verse 9. It says Lamentation 4 verse 9. It says, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. And this is what these people don't understand. These people that saying, stay in your house and grind it out rather than die from the pandemic, even though we know that this pandemic is bullshit. Hey, I would rather die from the pandemic than to suffer in my house. And I know soon enough people will realize that it's better to die by the sword than to die of hunger, than to suffer. And that is what your government leaders putting you through right now. You have nothing to eat, you have no job, you have no money to pay your bills, you have no money to pay rent, you have no money to pay for your car, you have no money to see about your children, and yet still telling you to stay inside and stay safe and wait until this thing over to come back out and to get money again. Hey, they're making you people suffer. Anyhow, it says, for these pine away, stricken through for once of the fruits of the field, which is food, till the ground, plant food, sow food, reap food, grow plants, grow fruits, eat it. You have oxen, cattle, wherever it may be, and eat it. But if you pine away, okay, you don't have these things. It says, the hands of the pitiful woman have sodden their own children. So these women that walking, big and bad and bougie, as if, they can't mash hands. As the scripture rightfully says, the tender and the delicate woman among you, which would not, she didn't even want to set the sole of her feet upon the ground. Them are the same ones gonna be hiding and eating their own children. It says, they would their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people, and they're gonna come around again. They're gonna happen again, because this time we enter into is gonna be one of it's gonna be the dreadest destruction ever to take place in history. The most terrible, the most terrifying, the scariest. And these people thinking it's a joke. They just, you see things still, it's still having a glimmer of hope. It's still having a, that beam or that beacon of light that they'll be talking about, where things could recover and things could get back to normal, and so they still have some kind of hope in Egypt. But as soon as they realize that Egypt don't really give a fuck about it, then shit could start to get real for them. Scriptures talk about before before honor is humility, or humility come before honor, or however, whichever way it goes. These people are gonna be brought very low, just as you was brought low by the Lord through our sufferings, through our afflictions, through our trials daily. These people are gonna be brought low, but they're gonna be tormented for their wickedness. We being tried to make white as snow, to be being purified, to be as gold, to be refined. But they're gonna be tormented for their wickedness. So with that, I want to give all praises and glory Shemate, How Bashing, How Shai Bashing, Kakotash, the double of the apostles and the elders agreement, so that surely do well, peace and blessings unto the Akim, surely four corners of the earth. Until next time, I say shalom.